Hey guys, so tonight we're using, sorry about that. We're using the Deluxe Cooking Blender and we are making hidden veggie marinara. So I've got the pasta going on the stove and this is going to be with the heated puree setting. And we're going to start off with a 1/4 cup of water and a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. And then a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to add a little extra to the recipe, so a teaspoon of salt, and then, you know, I love my crushed garlic and peppercorn, so we're going to go with about 2 teaspoons of that down in there. And then we have 4 garlic cloves that I've already peeled. We're going to pop those in. We have 1 cup of carrots just chunked up. And then I was at the store and there were no zucchinis to be found other than the pre-sliced one, and I had to take them with a few squash in there. So we're just going to use those. It calls for 1 small zucchini cut into chunks. So that's what we got. Ooh, that one looks. I'm going to pull those out. That doesn't look good. There we go. So 1 small zucchini chunked up, and that was the best I could find in the store because there weren't any zucchinis to be found when I went. Okay, so that's all in there. I do have our vented lid. We're going to put that on. We're going to go to the heated puree setting. So it's going to heat it up to 212 degrees. So it will cook for a while, and then it's going to beep at me and say add here on the screen. And that's going to tell me that I need to add the tomatoes. Now, the add-in is going to be 1 28-ounce can, or 750 grams of tomatoes. I've got fresh, so I've got about 750 grams. I'm going to add that to this instead of canned tomatoes, and that's going to make our hidden veggie marinara sauce to go over our pasta. So we're going to start this up. I'm going to show you what it looks like for a little bit. I'm not going to make you stay on here because it does this for about 7 or 8 minutes. It just gets it going. It starts to heat up, blends, goes back down, heats up. So it blends for a little bit, then it stops, starts to heat up, and then it'll blend again, and it just goes through this process on the automatic settings. So we'll let that get going. I'll be back when I add the tomatoes. Okay, we've got about 5 seconds left. All right, it is time to add our tomatoes. I don't know if you can see the steam, so this is why we put the vented lid on. So we're gonna pop that lid. Set it right over here. You can see how warm it is, the steam's coming off. Now we're gonna plop the tomatoes down in there. Like I said, the recipe calls for diced tomatoes, but this is what I had, so this is what I'm using. So 1 can of diced, 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes, or 750 grams of tomatoes. So I'm gonna pop those in. I might have a little extra, but I like tomatoes. So pop those in there, and I used the sugar and honey bombs. These flavor bombs, I love them. They're great. All right, so we got that popped on in there. We're going to put our lid back on. Get it tight on there. There we go. Now we're going to go to custom blend. We're going to go to the second setting. And because I'm using fresh tomatoes, we're going to blend for about a minute, minute and a half. The recipe says for 30 seconds when you use canned tomatoes. Grab some cheese. right, so I actually cranked the speed up to 4, and we went for 41 seconds. So let's check it out and see what it looks like in here. Oh, that looks good. All right, I'm gonna set our lid over there. Wipe up my mess. Now remember, this is heated wash cycle, so after I take this out, we'll run the heated wash cycle. So all right, I'm gonna pull our sauce off. I blended those tomatoes right up in there. We're gonna dump it all over our pasta. Right on in there. Set that there out of the way. Bring our pasta right up here. We're just gonna toss this around. If you got fresh basil leaves, you could throw some fresh basil on top. I am actually gonna grate some Parmesan. The recipe calls for mozzarella. I don't have any mozzarella. I have some Parmesan and some Romano. I'm gonna grate some of those on top of it. And then stir it around and mix that cheese in. Stir. So that's going to be our hidden veggie marinara pasta for tonight. I can't wait to try it. I'm going to add a little of the Romano cheese on top. Have a great night, guys.